Imagine growing up in a world where you are not seen. What if you do not see yourself anywhere? What if you do not feel any connection? Until society represents everyone in all aspects of life, the question will be, do I belong? It is time we rethink representation. Now, technology plays a vital part in this process. We use it in all aspects of life. It is fundamental to everything we do. After all, we live in a world of technological advances. We can access mobile phones and laptops. We have smart TVs and game consoles. We have smart cars and apps that track our every move. We love social media, hashtags and trends. Technology allows the opportunity to be represented and acknowledged in the world. You get to showcase the parts of you that you wish the world to see. You can connect with people you may have never met. It provides opportunity you may not have otherwise received. But for some, this very technology is less of a blessing, and instead it has created a layer of discrimination that it did not intend. The very tool that is used to connect is creating a digital divide. So I want us to explore the impact of race in tech to date. Because my race has had the biggest impact on my life, therefore it's through the lens of race that I'm talking to you today. So let us explore race and technology. In Black communities, obtaining access to technology can be scarce. Inadequate sources of refunds, programs, and it can often be the reason why Black students are unable to maximize the usage of modern technology. The definition of the digital divide is most commonly defined as the gap between individuals and communities accessing information technologies that in multiple ways is transforming our lives. These are simple: the haves and the have-nots. Some people have it, some people don't. The divide can be broken into individuals, internet usage at home, internet usage at locations, what can your school provide, home computer ownership, computer accessibility, internet subscription, the data on your phone, in household and broadband dial-up internet subscription. What can I even afford? Yet even when technology is accessible, Black people do not see themselves as contributors to the tech we use today. And that's down to a lack of role models, reduced visibility. And that can lead to the question of whether or not tech is an area where Black people belong. Specific to the field of technology, some of the world's most amazing inventions have come from Black people, although they often do not get the recognition they deserve. To get a little sense of why this may be, it's important to understand the history of what we understand is this Black experience. Students are often taught a superficial and condensed version of Black history. It starts with slavery, moving swiftly to the American Civil Rights Movement, as if the entire Black contribution to the world is summed up in that short period of history. This condensed view of Black people can perpetuate the ideology, particularly in the UK, that Black citizens are immigrants. They're immigrants from the Windrush and they participated in civil activism. If they were good enough, they might have become sporting heroes. Yet with just a little bit of research, we know this to be so untrue. However, to prepare for the future, you must understand the past. The Ashanti people of West Africa say, there is nothing wrong with going back to fetch what one has forgotten. Black people were and continue to be innovative, creative, and brilliant, irrespective of the experience of constant oppression. However, it is precisely because of this oppression which has led to a lack of awareness in the curriculum and our everyday lives that we turn to events such as Black History Month to celebrate these accomplishments. All too frequently, when we think of Black History Month, the spotlight focuses only on the most high-profile figures, such as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. We hear about the civil rights movement. We think about Mary Seacole and her contribution to the healthcare system. Yet, we rarely even know our own local heroes, such as Roy Hackett, Dr. Paul Stevenson, and Guy Bailey, all who contributed to the Bristol boycott right here, right on our doorstep. And yet often, we don't know. However, it's not to say that these heroes, such as Malcolm X, are not important. However, just that there are many other Black people who have played a key role here in the UK, abroad in the US, and in the wider world, yet history has not recognized their contributions. We must also consider our language, our behavior, our values, and influences. Let's just think about how we frame the words black and white. When we think of white, positivity, light, pure, white, clean, clear. Let's think about tech, white hat, master, white list, all positive things in technology. But then we think about negativity when we think of the word black. Blackmail, black on black crime, black heart, black sheep of the family. But what about tech? Slave, blacklist, black hat. It was only in July this year that Twitter announced it would drop the terms such as master and slave and blacklist from its code. The words master and slave have become leader and follower, or primary and replica, whilst blacklist has become deny list. Is this enough? Have we gone far enough? There is also a similar trend in the information security world, where whitelisting and blacklisting is prevalent. Here, terms, items, services, or people are on a whitelist are permitted, whilst those on the blacklist are suspected, blocked, or denied. Words make a difference. They leave an impact. Our entire social media is born out of semantics. Language is what defines us. You don't buy it? Spend some time later listing the words and soon you will see a pattern that has perpetuated a culture of prejudice. But it's more than the language. Let's think about algorithms. A team of computer scientists at Princeton University in America, they examined whether an algorithm trained on human writing online would exhibit the same biased tendencies that psychologists see amongst humans. They found that the algorithm associated white-sounding names with pleasant and black-sounding names with unpleasant. Codes can be reflective and predictive. They will create narratives and tell us what to expect. For example, you hear a name like Oliver Tang. In your mind, you subconsciously think of someone who probably is East Asian, somebody who comes from a community that values education, someone who's smart. And yet, you hear a name like Tyrone Jackson, and you presume he's probably black. You think of someone from a social disadvantaged area, someone who might be good at sport. Let's think about internet searches, engines such as Google. You type in the words beautiful hair or beautiful woman, and yet the majority of images are white females with straight hair. What does that do to our young people? It reinforces the European standards of beauty. It is why young people strive for an unattainable, unachievable appearance. Why? Because of what we are putting in the system. We would love to believe that tech is colorblind. After all, nobody wants to believe that tech is racially biased. However, we have to be aware of the tech designers because they encode the judgments into technical systems, but claim that the racist results are entirely internal or external. Is it external to the coding process? Is that what it is? Because if we don't look at this, if we don't examine this, it buries racism under a layer of digital denial. So let's think about marketing. This has happened to me. Streaming sites such as Netflix, they don't necessarily ask for your race or ethnicity, but they watch what you watch. And they will make judgments based on what you watch. And then you might begin to see, for example, recommendations appear for Black views by tailored posters showing Black supporting cast members to entice you to click, view and watch, thus making Black actors appear more present than they actually are, given an illusion of progression. So is this just a tick box, or are we actually looking for change? Yet we do not criticize it. Why? Because we are paralyzed. We accept the status quo because they are our social norms, aren't they? We play into the hands of racial hierarchy, bias and representative oppression because those are the cards we've been dealt. But imagine a world where you are taught the value of all races. Racial superiority is stripped of its crown, and instead all races are sworn in with equal importance. Children will grow with a sense of value, connection, and understanding of difference. Imagine if they knew. Gerald A. Lawson, he created the first home video game system that used interchangeable cartridges, offering gamers a chance to play a variety of games. This approach today, where gamers can make profit from individual games. Anyone who owns a Sony PlayStation, a Nintendo, a Switch, an Xbox should know Lawson's name. Imagine if they knew Garrett Morgan. After witnessing an automobile accident, he created the free light traffic light system, a version of, to make sure our roads were safer. That was in 1923. Imagine if they knew Mark Hanna. Anyone amazed by special effects showcased in modern day movies should know who that person is. He was a computer scientist, one of the founders in 1982 of the software firm Silicon Graphics, now SGI. Imagine special effects that we all use and love in our movies. Imagine if they knew Thomas Jennings, the first African American to receive a patent in 1821 at the age of 30 for a process that is the forerunner of modern day dry cleaning. An accomplished tailor who opened his own store in New York, born free. Imagine if they knew Jessica Matthews. She had a true passion for helping countries within the African continent. At the age of 22, the Nigerian American innovator created Socket, S-O-C-C-E-K-E-T, a soccer ball that produced kinetic energy during play that could be used to power a lamp, a phone, or other devices. Representation matters more than we know. Imagine if technology was truly inclusive. What a magnificent world this would be. Racial bias is not simply an issue of individual biases, but instead a pattern that manifests in policy, practice, and everyday operations. But that responsibility does not rely on one individual or one group. It's not just a black issue. We all have to own this. Impacts us all. It's not up to the person with power to decide if it's offensive or not. It's not up to the inconvenience to decide what should we change. So you need to ask yourselves, are your actions progressive and inclusive, or are you simply excluding? We must position ourselves to use our privilege and influence to better understand all communities, to build an environment of positive representation. Let's use all of our life experiences to change the culture. We owe it to ourselves and the future. The truth is, if we can see each other's contributions and appreciate them, we could see so much more value in each other and our contributions to the world. Imagine a world where you are represented in all aspects of life. That is a world we all deserve, because representation really matters. Thank you for listening.